Okay, so while I was thinking about a new video to discuss about, I've been playing Zero Used or ZU, the tier below PU for quite a bit now, but Gen 9 ZU came out at the start of April, and we've all been playing the meta and whatnot, and ZU has already gone through some ban changes as well, like they banned Giraffe Rig and they also banned Fracture from the tier, and there's been a rise in a certain Pokemon in ZU that a lot of players believe to be broken and should be, voted on or had some tiering action to do with it. And that Pokemon is none other than Beartic, which coincidentally is my favorite ice type of all time. So we're going to be talking about why Beartic, a mon that's barely had any viability in any tier really, is, shaking up ZU for the first time in its career really. But yeah, let me know how my new mic sounds as well. Got a new mic, so hopefully things sound a lot clearer now. And join the kingdom. We're on our way to 300 subscribers, so if we can get that by the end of the year, I'll be very happy with that. But let's discuss Beartic now. Now, Beartic is a very strong Pokemon by ZU standards. If you come look at the highest attack stat in... I hate how it does this. It just filters the unreleased Pokemon, and you can't even do that. But either way, ignore all the unreleased Pokemon. Slacking has the highest attack stat in ZU, and at the end of the day, it's still Slacking. And then you have Beartic in second place at 130 attack. And then Flareon also shares that attack stat, and then nothing else in ZU. Like, the gap between 120 and 130 is 10, and then after that is just, like, hardly anything, like 110, and it just gets lower and lower. So, Beartic's one of the hardest hitting Pokemon in ZU, the second hardest hitting physical attack in ZU, and, the thing that really makes Beartic annoying is the fact that it has the ability Slush Rush. Now, you're down in ZU, we don't really have any hail setters realistically. Like, we have Snova, which is enough to get the job done at the end of the day, as long as you're able to, get automatic hail up. Beartic has its Slush Rush ability activate, and its speed is doubled. Now, everyone knows that Beartic is a very slow Pokemon, but in ZU, where you have mons like these, like some of these speed tiers are just god awful. Like base 65, base 60, like the fastest mon is Persian and Sneasel at base 115, which Beartic can easily outspeed under, hail. So the mon is hitting hard, and it's practically impossible to outspeed unless you're running like a Scarf on every team. That's not even the only issue with Beartic. The other issue with Beartic is the new mechanics to, Snow/Hail. Now that Hail is no longer known as Hail and is now Snow, it gives Ice types a 50% defense boost, and with a mon with Beartic's bulk in ZU, it's pretty hard to take this mon out. Like, it's very, very difficult to take this mon out, and yeah, it's just all of the accumulation of all of those points that make Beartic a menace to handle in this tier, because you get under Hail, you set up a Swords Dance, you're pretty much unkillable on the physical side, and then you also have to take Terrestrialization into account. Like, Beartic can easily just go Heavy Duty Boots, it goes Slush Rush, it has Swords Dance, Icicle Crash. It also got Close Combat this gen, so it also has another really hard-hitting move. And then you could either go Earthquake last. It has a lot of options that it can run in the last slot. But Ice Fighting, you can never really go wrong with that, Like, it's pretty unresisted, especially the lower you go down the tiering rung. So, yeah. If we go onto the forums now to see the overall, consensus on Beartic now, we have about... we have so many posts regarding Beartic in the tier, and let's go over the first one made by Please No Step here. And like, everyone was sleeping on Beartic at the start of the tier. Like, no one was really considering Beartic, because at the end of the day, like, Snova, like, everyone will just think that Snova is a pretty bad Pokemon to deal with. But, like, you can just still go Snova and, like, get the Slush Rush off, and, things are looking good for Beartic. And, Please No Step mentions here, like I mentioned earlier, the obscene breaking ability of Beartic. The coverage is too strong on a mon that has such a high attack stat, and I don't think ZU can even keep up with it, I'm not gonna lie. 130 attack, the second highest attack stat tied with Flareon. Beartic can obviously double its attack stat with Swords Dance as well, and then it's just impossible to wall. Like, you get a +2 up and everything in ZU is folding. The second problem is its bulk. You know, it has 95 HP and 80 defenses, not to mention the snow boosting its defense by 50%. Makes it a pretty hard Pokemon to take out, particularly if you get rid of its ice defensive typing and, you know, substituting that with either Terra Fighting or Terra Ghost, for example. Like, those are pretty strong Terra types on Beartic to run. And then, you know, Snow is suddenly viable in ZU because you have a snow warning Pokemon, and obviously Beartic has Slush Rush, so that like weather exists. Like Sun still exists in ZU because you have like Pokemon like Scovillain, and you have like decent like, you know, Sunsetters, but you know, it's mostly just, you know, Snow doing a lot of stuff. And yeah, Beartic just hits, you know, too hard. So moving on to the second post about Beartic, they literally consecutively followed each other. But you know, I'm here with a short post going over how absolutely cracked Beartic is as a Pokemon. Now, everyone again just mentions its attack stat and all of that good stuff, its bulk, and then it takes advantage of Snow. And then, yeah, it's just too bulky to handle. It has perfect coverage, and you know, the Tears defensive staples, the few that we actually have in ZU is just too much. So yeah, and then the most recent post by KJ Corp in the ZU metagame thread here. And then, what do you call it? They mentioned that this is the best Pokemon in the tier. A lot of people, again, agree with that, you know, point that Beartic is the best Pokemon in the tier. And also the fact that Terra Ghost is a good Terra. Like, Terra Ghost in ZU is good for multiple reasons. The first reason is that, you know, you can spin block, you know, the #1 spinner in the tier who's Toad School. And, like, obviously, Defog is not that common. Like, a lot of people have been coping with Defoggers, but, you know, Toad School is still the most consistent removal option that you know, ZU has access to. The other reason why Terra Ghost is strong as well, especially on Pokemon like Vigoroth and Dunsparce, is because their only weakness being fighting is suddenly nullified when they turn into a ghost type. There's hardly any dark types, and again, there's hardly any ghost types either. And you know, Dunsparce is bulky enough to not even care about Ghastly Shadow Ball in the first place, and you just deal with that mon depending on if you're running Bite or any other move that can you know, hit Ghastly super effectively. And the same applies to Vigoroth. Like, Vigoroth has enough bulk with Eviolite not to really care about Ghastly Shadow Ball, particularly if it's not life or choice specs. So you just kill that thing with you know, Terra Ghost Shadow Claw pretty easily. So again, it also stops Persian. Like, Persian's a very strong Pokemon in you know, SVZU, just because it's the fastest Pokemon. Like, there isn't really too many mons that wall Persian either. Like, the steel types in ZU are just kind of lacking if you come look at this quickly. So in terms of the steel types that ZU has access to, like, you have all of these guys. Now, Pawniard is good. Cufant kind of exists, but at the end of the day, these steel types aren't like metagame relevant. And even if you think about rock types, like, you have Sudowoodo, and you know, Persian can U-turn out on that. It also U-turns out on Pupitar as well. So yeah, overall, you know, Beartic can get away with running Terra Ghost, and that's why Terra Ghost is strong in general. So yeah, there isn't really much else to say on, you know, Beartic, to be honest. I've seen a couple of replays of Beartic, you know, doing its thing, and yeah, it's a very powerful Pokemon. Like, I want to use it myself, but again, I'm not a particular fan of running Snova. Don't really like them on, like, outside of just setting up Hail, just feels like dead weight half the time. But yeah, in terms of my more general thoughts on the ZU metagame, I suppose nothing is like bad if you know, vote on Luxray and Beartic, and also Dunsparce. I really think this one should not be in this tier at all. Like, a lot of people speak about Vigoroth, but Dunsparce basically does the same thing and is also even more versatile than Vigoroth. Like, the thing is with Dunsparce, you don't even need to go coil to be a broken mon. You just go defensive. You don't die to anything. You glare everything. You also just RNG everyone. Like, it's just an annoying Pokemon. It's not a healthy, like, Dunsparce does not add anything to this metagame at all. And you know, in my honest opinion, I believe this one should be gone. Like, people still discussing like Vigoroth, and I know Vigoroth is that, but I don't think Dunsparce is really stronger than that mon. And yeah, I do believe it would be better if this one wasn't in this tier. But yeah, that is it. Don't really make ZU videos often, but I did want to just talk about Beartic and how it'll probably end up getting some tiering action on it in this tier. It's also my favorite ice type, so I'm kind of happy that it's seen some love, particularly the fact that, you know, like, even though we lost Arctozolt this gen and the Lowland Sandslash and, you know, Arctovish even, you know, Beartic still got outshadowed by Titan, who's, you know, chilling it up in RU, and Beartic still isn't really having that limelight anywhere higher than ZU, but the power level's low enough and you still have a Snow Setter, so Beartic can actually, you know, shine, and it'll probably end up getting banned from, you know, SVZU. So yeah, let me know down below what your thoughts on Beartic are, or let me know your thoughts on the ZU metagame if you're playing it, or what your favorite mon is to use. And yeah, try and use Beartic and make your own opinion regarding it. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, subscribe to the channel for more content, like this video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.